Don't do what just do, so I love her when you pick up the gas. I love her when you pick up the gas. Take a turkey, pussy, boom, and listen. I love her when they pick up, I love her when they pick up the cash.
Welcome to this amazing day and amazing week. It's a time of celebration. My name is Kirsten Flory. I'm the board president for the Community Children's Center. Few logistics. If anyone in the audience has need for a Spanish translator, then Astrid is here with us today, and she's hovering over by the stop sign. So if any, this stop sign. So if you need that assistance, she is sure available to help out with that today. So thanks, Astrid. So we are here to celebrate something pretty special. And myself, I'm actually kind of new to the Community Children's Center, just joining the board here over a year ago. And I think my fellow board member, Hugh Carter, is going to speak a few words later. But early childhood development hadn't really been on my radar, believe it or not, even as a working mom. And so myself getting educated on this topic and this importance to our community has been amazing. And just learning all of the impacts it has to all of us, not only as working parents, but as business owners and as a community, is the work is true and good and deep. I want to share just a quick moment about the history of the building behind us, because I think that's a very important story to tell too. So I'm thankful to say Gary Sollers is in the audience with us today, and I'm looking right at him. So Gary Sollers and Bob Johnson have owned the Medical Arts building behind us for a long time and have been wonderful landlords and serving the tenants there and the businesses there, and we've seen a lot of evolutions. I know I brought my own kids to the Panda Pediatrics Clinic here since they were born, and so it's been a wonderful thing to get to assist the Community Children's Center in acquiring this building and becoming owners through ARPA funds through the county. So that was a wonderful process that they got to be the beneficiary of. And recently we're award winners of a $4.9 million grant from the state, and that's why we are here. It sure shows the true testament of the commitment to honoring and supporting our earliest children and citizens of our community. So I know you don't want to hear from me. You want to hear from other people that have a lot more wonderful things to say. So before I end real fast, please join us afterwards. There's refreshments, there's cake, there's tours of the building. I know a lot of people are probably curious to see what it looks like now, and then see what it's going to look like here shortly. But I want to introduce next Suzy Green. She is the director of the Family Resource Center for the Community Children's Center. So Suzy.
Hello, everyone. I am here to give a land acknowledgement statement from the Community Children's Center. Because we cannot strive for a better future if we don't acknowledge the justice in our past. Today, we gather on the ancestral homelands of diverse Indigenous nations who have called this region home for generations. The land that we now occupy is the ancestral home of the Kaw Nation, Osage Nation, Pawnee Nation, Oto Missouri, Kiowa Tribe, Cheyenne and Arapaho tribes, Comanche Nation, and Wichita, and affiliated tribes, among others registered and not registered. We acknowledge the profound history of this land, recognizing the colonization, oppression, and forced removals that have occurred, displacing Indigenous peoples from their homelands. The Shawnee Tribe of Oklahoma, Wyandot Nation, Miami Tribe of Oklahoma, Peoria Tribe of Indians of Oklahoma, Cherokee Nation, and Quapaw Tribe are among others who've experienced injustices as they have passed through or temporarily resided in Kansas. Today, we also honor the resilience and presence of the 4 federally recognized nations that were relocated to and remain in Kansas: the Prairie Band Potawatomi Nation, Kickapoo Tribe of Kansas, Iowa Tribe of Kansas and Nebraska, and Sac and Fox Nation of Missouri and Kansas and Nebraska. And Lawrence is known for our intertribal community, which thrives because of Haskell Indian Nations University. We represent over 100 tribal nations from all over. And in recognizing the past and present, we acknowledge the ongoing contributions of Indigenous people in our community, our farmers and growers, our artists and creators, our teachers, business owners, leaders, students, families, and community members, who all continue to enrich the livelihood of Douglas County. This acknowledgement is not a static statement, but a commitment to action. Community Children's Center commits to building meaningful relationships with our Indigenous communities and neighbors. We commit to actively supporting Indigenous peoples whose histories, cultures, and languages will be shared, valued, and celebrated in our center. As we tread upon this land, we acknowledge and honor all Indigenous peoples inside and outside of Douglas County, Kansas. And I now introduce Hugh Carter, who is the Vice President of External Affairs for the Chamber of Commerce and a CCC board member. Thank you.
Everybody here okay? All right. Thank you, Suzy, for the introduction. It's a great day for Douglas County. I wanted to start with just a quick story about Kirsten Flory. She might have touched on it just briefly there, but a few years ago, the Chamber was developing our strategic initiatives for our upcoming 5-year economic development capital campaign, and it's called Rising Together. We were several drafts into the strategic initiatives, and childcare had not made it onto the list. And so I pushed at that point to say, what is going on? Why are we not getting this on the list? And it was Kirsten that finally spoke up and said, I'm just not comfortable asking investors to help pay for babysitting. And for those out there, I'm probably preaching to the choir a little bit, that's kind of a common early on answer, you know? So I hadn't made the case, obviously. So we sat down, we went through the data, we had some significant back and forth, and ultimately high quality early care and education became a strategic initiative for the 5-year economic development capital campaign of the Chamber. Clear on this, the data's clear. If we don't get it right in early care and education, we can't catch up with things like Peasley Tech later on. This is where it's at. So, Governor Kelly, thank you so much for your vision and leadership in choosing the big, hairy, audacious goal of making Kansas the model for early care and education. There really is no higher or better use of our time than this. The Chamber was proud to advocate for the creation of the Early Childhood Transition Task Force last session, and we stand ready to support the recommendations of that task force this session. I'd also like to recognize Melissa Rooker of the Kansas Children's Cabinet and Trust Fund for her leadership in heading up the Early Childhood Task Force and for the fantastic job of managing this whole process of the Child Care Accelerator grant selection process. We look forward to continuing to work with you. Thank you. Also, just Kirsten touched on it briefly, but I know there's a lot of county leaders here, and if this isn't validation for the investment that you made a year ago with almost $4 million of ARPA funds, I don't know what is. I know you're as happy and proud as we are today, but thank you for making this possible, because this is what put us in the running for this grant. And finally, congratulations and welcome to the podium our next speaker, the Executive Director of the Community Children's Center and the tip of the spear for all things early care and education in Douglas County, Kim Polson.
Thank you so much for everyone being here. I am so glad November looks like this today. Appreciate all of you taking the time out of your busy days and schedule. Many of you may not be aware of our long, rich history as one of the first Head Start programs in the nation in collaboration with Plymouth Congregational Church. With a change in the Head Start structure at the national level in 2018, the Community Children's Center Board of Directors had an opportunity to expand our vision, reassess, look for new opportunities to make a difference in early childhood structure and systems. What we determined at that point in time, they were willing to dream big and dream big with us to find unique ways to eliminate and mitigate early childhood challenges and system gaps in our infrastructure. In 2021, a cross-sector collaborative work group of over 30 stakeholders from more than 20 organizations began having conversations to explore what does an early childhood community center look like for Douglas County. This group included wonderful experts and experience from early childhood individuals and spaces such as Positive Bright Start, the Ballard Center, and the Lawrence Public Schools. It also brought to the table many individuals and entities that hadn't been around the table for an early childhood conversation. What we found is they often had not been invited to those conversations. So we made sure to include as broad a spectrum as we can, and that included the county, the city of Lawrence, the Chamber of Commerce, as well as our public schools, and also looking at other entities that serve families with young children, like Bert Nash, and other entities that could help us provide not only support in a high-quality licensed child care facility, but provide the support that wraps around those families. When we can care for children in a high-quality facility, we want to make sure they're going home to an environment that is equally warm and welcoming, and work together with families to create that positive experience. What we've determined is that the overwhelming consensus from that work group was that we need to strengthen the entire early childhood system, which includes not only the families who are in need of childcare, but also the early childhood workforce, our early childhood professionals who do this work and are so deserving of an elevated status and wage, and looking at how can we support them in the same way that we look to support our families, because for many, an early childhood professional is part of their family, helping to raise their young children. And this is truly a community effort. It's more than the building where we break ground today. It's the opportunity to innovate and create ripples to strengthen early childhood throughout Douglas County through programs such as the child care facility offering high-quality child care 24/7, as well as short-term and drop-in care. Also, our early childhood business incubator model that includes an apprenticeship program with Peasley Tech, and wraparound sports for all Douglas County families with young children through our Family Resource Center. We want to connect families to services and support as early as possible in their child's life, because we know those earlier opportunities and interventions can change the trajectory of a child and a family's life. This groundbreaking in building is only the beginning. There has been unprecedented support at the state level through the Kansas Children's Cabinet, thank you, and our governor for this project and others like it across the state. I'm thrilled that Governor Kelly can be here today to celebrate this milestone in increasing access to high-quality, affordable childcare and services that strengthen Douglas County families. Would you please welcome Governor Laura Kelly?
Thank you, Kim, and thank you everybody for being here. Before I get started, I want to tell you, Hugh, that my vision was not my vision alone. My vision was a shared vision established when I was serving in the state Senate alongside Melissa Rooker, don't hide there, Melissa, who was in the House of Representatives. And we collaborated time and time again during our time in the legislature to move the issue of early childhood forward. And because of that, I chose Melissa because I knew she had the passion and the will and the ability to make this happen. You know, Melissa came on board right away in 2019 when I took office. We were going great guns. The pandemic hit. A little bit of a hiccup, but we are back, and we are back in full force. And our goal to establish the best comprehensive, most robust early childhood system in the nation is on its way. So you may have heard me say that the North Star of my second term is making Kansas the best place in the country to raise a family. Expanding access to multi-purpose community facilities like this one is a fundamental part of that commitment. When completed, this facility will provide a wide range of services, including wraparound support services for families, as well as space for employers in Douglas County to offer workforce training and professional development programs. And of course, at the heart of it all is a child care center with an indoor play and learning area, a family resource center, and additional resources to support early childhood care professionals. Improving the quality and quantity of child care services across Kansas is one of my top priorities because it doesn't just benefit families. Providing quality child care is also a vital component of workforce development and economic growth. We are experiencing unprecedented levels of economic growth and job creation here in Kansas, and that's great news. But unfortunately, not everyone who wants to take advantage of these new work opportunities is able to. Not because there aren't enough jobs, but because there's not enough affordable child care. This is a nonpartisan issue that affects all Kansans, and addressing it benefits everyone in the state. To be clear, this is not a problem for Kansas alone. Almost half of working parents in the United States say that the number of hours they can work has been compromised by the lack of child care options. Investing in the child care sector and closing the child care gap in communities across our great state has been one of my top priorities since I took office. In my first term, we invested more than $270 million to support child care providers and make child care more accessible and more affordable. The first executive order I signed in my second term was to establish the Early Childhood Transition Task Force to evaluate our current system and put Kansas on the path to having that most comprehensive, robust early childhood system in the country. Earlier this year, we began distributing funding through the Child Care Capacity Accelerator Grant. In the second half of this year alone, we have allocated more than $55 million through that program to 67 projects in communities across Kansas that will create 5,655 high-quality child care centers. And of course, I've been advocating relentlessly for Kansas to expand Medicaid and extend health insurance to child care workers. Right now, child care facilities are struggling to keep their doors open because of lack of workers. Ensuring those workers have health coverage would make it a whole lot easier to keep them in the workforce and caring for our kids. Devoting resources to early childhood development and care is the smartest investment a community can make in its future. Making sure children get a strong start in life sets them up for long-term success. And supporting abundant and affordable child care is the best way to keep our economy growing, to attract new businesses and workers to Kansas, and to increase the productivity of our existing workforce by reducing employee turnover and absenteeism. I am grateful to everyone in Douglas County who's had a hand in making this facility a reality. This is a great day for Lawrence and a great day for Kansas, and I'm glad I had the opportunity to be part of it. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Will Averill, Director of Development and Communications.
Thank you, Governor Kelly. All right, that's not something I thought I'd get to say anytime, but that's exciting. Folks, we're going to get to the groundbreaking here in a moment, but I just want to say, before we do that, today is extraordinarily exciting because it is the beginning of a new phase, not only of this building, but also of Community Children's Center. Despite its rich history of high-quality early childhood care in Douglas County, CCC, or Triple C, as some of the staff like to call it, has only recently found itself representing itself to the community through outreach, communication, and image. So I'm excited today to be able to unveil a symbol that embodies the heart and soul of Community Children's Center, our brand new logo. Our old logo served as a testament to our professionalism and commitment to early childhood education. However, in our ever-evolving world, we recognize the importance of not only upholding these values, but also embracing a spirit of playfulness and inclusivity. We wanted to do this in a way that gelled organically with the design of the building itself. And I am thrilled today to present the work of the excellent Mr. Billy Pilgrim out there. Some of you may be familiar with Billy's exceptional work, such as the Lawrence Public Library, the Merck, Kansas Public Radio, and the Willow Domestic Violence Center logo. Today he's bringing his creative genius to the Community Children's Center, shaping a logo that represents who we are and speaks volumes about our unwavering dedication to the children and the caregivers that we serve. In our new logo, the 3 C's, the foundation of our identity, now lie on their sides, a symbolic gesture representing our commitment to embracing every angle of a child's growth and development. The variety of colors speaks to our dedication to inclusion, safety, professionalism, and high-quality early childhood education. They are also complementary colors with the interior of the building, which has been so beautifully realized by our friends at Bartlett and West. We discussed making the organization's name stick more readily in people's minds. It took me over a month to get the order right every time. The playful arrangement of the typography that you'll see in the new logo is more than just a visual treat. It focuses the eye to give the name a more memorable flow. And as we embrace this new visual identity, let it serve as a constant reminder of our commitment to providing a safe, inclusive, and enriching environment for all the children and families in our community. So, Brandon, are we about ready over there? I want to thank you for joining us on this momentous occasion, and we look forward to sharing our continued commitment to the well-being and education of our littlest learners. Let's take a look. Reveal it. All right, there we go. There we go. You'll be surprised to know we do have some stickers with the new logo available when you head back in, so you can take that swag home with you. I would like to ask now if all our grown-up groundbreakers could join us. We'll take a few pictures with the grown-ups, and then we will add in the more important early childhood, all ages groundbreaking crew. So could the groundbreaking crew for the adults please come on up? Representing us today is going to be Kim Polson, Governor Kelly, Kirsten Flory, Patrick Kelly, Ron Gacious, Melissa Rooker, Shane Heilman, Steve Wise, Darren Amon, Joe Caldwell, Melina Stewart, Brandon Dahl, Mike Bernholtz, and Marcy Francisco. Yeah. So give them a big round of applause. They're going to come over here. You may want to back up and move so you can see this. You can stand in the street. This is one time you get to stand in the middle of 4th Street. It's really exciting, people. Okay, if everybody kind of puts on your hats and your shovels, let our wonderful photographers get some photos of you. Kirsten and Kim, I'm counting on you to lead the way. Just to.
One, 2, 3.
All right, and the digging has begun. Now for the important part, any kiddos who want to be part of the early childhood Douglas County Educational All-Star Groundbreaking crew, come on up. There's some shovels and there's some hats. Come on up and grab a shovel and a hat. All right, is everybody ready? Over the dirt. 1, 2, 3, go! Yay! It looks like one side is just trying to shuffle down to the other side.